You need to.
I'm going to give the intro.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Everybody. Kelly Sparks. Alison Cockrill.
Hallie Kuperman.
Yeah. And we run the Century Ballroom. And Kelly is here as our guest tonight because we're starting a new interview series. Okay, enough for that. Hi, Kelly.
Hi. Happy to be here.
She just got off DJing Monday night Salsa Practica.
I'm still kind of sweaty.
Sorry. I'll sit over here. So we have some questions we want to ask you, because one of the things we want to do is have the community know about who is here and what they've been doing and where they came from, because we don't really know anybody's background. So I will start with your elevator pitch about when you started dancing, where you started dancing, how you started dancing.
Yeah, well, I started dancing, I think the first time I danced on stage in any kind of performance, I was 11 years old. And my dad was actually we were in a show together, like a Christmas show. And they had a dance portion that was for the adults, but I would tag along to rehearsal every day with my dad, and I learned the whole thing. And so they ended up letting me perform with the adults on stage. I was like, I know every part, I can do it. So that was kind of where I started being, having a passion for dancing and performing, and partner dance in particular. And that was a folk dance performance, actually. So folk dancing was my start, and then my dad and I actually started taking salsa lessons together when I was 15. So we got into Casino Rueda, Cuban style at first.
Where were you?
I grew up in Portland, so we were down in Portland. A studio that no longer exists, actually, was our first little salsa dance home.
Does your dad still dance?
He does, yeah. Not as often anymore because he doesn't like to stay up so late. But he can occasionally be persuaded to come out, and he loves timba and Cuban style. And,
awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
So I mean, one of the things we wanted to ask you were a couple highlights before you were an adult and when you were a younger person, but I think we just heard one of them.
Yeah.
Other experiences when you were younger?
I was fortunate enough to tour Japan with a dance troupe, a folk dance troupe that I was in when I was 14. So that was definitely a big highlight for me. It was my first time, on a different continent and in such a different culture.
What kind of folk dance?
We did international folk dance. So we did village dances from all around the world.
Oh, okay.
It was a troupe called Susafusa, which I believe still exists in Portland. And it's a kids troupe, ages 8 through 18. So big range of kids, and they wear costumes from all over the world. So it's really fun.
It's awesome.
And we learn, they learn about the cultures. So it's really cool.
And so when did you get to Seattle?
I got to Seattle in 2019. I mean, I visited a lot when I was growing up because I grew up nearby. But we moved here. I moved here with my ex and our kids. He works at Amazon, so we moved here in 2019 for his job. And how did you learn about the Century Ballroom? I know, bring it back to me. Yes, let's talk about the Century Ballroom.
Not enough about you.
Let's get to the real subject here. Yes, I actually found out about the Century Ballroom from my now partner shortly after I met him. When I moved here, I got a group for a salsa lesson, and he was my instructor. He told me, I was learning on 2. It was a different style for me since I started with Cuban and on 1. I took a couple lessons from Michael, and then said, so where do I go out and practice? And he said, Century Ballroom, go stand near the DJ booth to find the good dancers. So I was like, okay, I'll go stand by the DJ booth, find some on 2 dancers, see if I can practice. And that was.
Hi, we're back. We had to switch for a moment. Let's not talk about the clouds. Where were we, Al? Libras. We were at Libras.
Libras.
Moving on.
Yes. We were talking about. You were saying that you were very kindly complimenting me and saying that I'm much younger than. This is going to be the last year of my 30s. I'm turning 39.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See, dancing keeps us young. I'm about to turn 82.
Never would have guessed.
I don't want to discuss
You
what
look
I'm
a day over 18.
and I'm about to be 25. Thank you. Okay. Yes, exactly. That's how we all feel. All right. So let's ask some other questions that you might or.
When did you start teaching?
I started teaching, I mean, actually pretty early. I mentioned the folk dance troupe that I was in, and my troupe leader used to take me with her to kind of the folk dance equivalent of festivals, so she could like take one workshop and I would take a different workshop. And then, we would teach the different dances to the troupe. So that was kind of just my start of like, okay, I'm just going to learn these steps and show them to the troupe with our leader assisting. And then when I was 15, 16 was when my dad and I got into salsa. And once we got through all the levels, they ended up asking us both to teach there at the studio.
Oh, wow.
So I was 16 years old teaching Casino Rueda at a place called Satin and Latin down in Portland.
Do you still do that dance? Do you still do
a little bit? I can't remember all the calls anymore, and they're sometimes different from place to place. But I can definitely fake it pretty well. If they ask me to lead, I'm like, but, we can make it work.
Do you both lead and follow now? Do you have a preference? Do you?
I do both lead and follow. I don't necessarily. I would say maybe I prefer following, but I've really been enjoying leading so much. I've been working on my my salsa lead in particular, and definitely the more I learn, the more fun I have with it. I just came back from just months ago already, but I recently went to a queer Afro-Latin dance festival for the first time and got to do so much switch dancing there, and really rediscovered my love of leading, and I've been trying to make a point of doing it more since.
And what do you think, what are some characteristics that you think make a good lead and also a good follow?
Sensitivity for both, I would say. Obviously technique and timing and all of that good stuff, but I think just sensitivity and empathy. Yeah. Being able to put yourself in another person's shoes and think about what is your experience. And then, sensitivity to the music and flexibility, not just, bendiness, but just, it's a lot like improv. I used to do theater and improv as a kid, and they teach you that when someone has a suggestion, the answer is yes and, And so I feel like, having a yes and attitude in dance is good for leads and follows both, where you take the thing that they give you because it's a creative, thing that's happening between two people. It's not just I tell you what to do and you do it, it's a collaboration.
Do you do other partner dances besides Latin?
Not as much anymore, but I did do a brief stint teaching ballroom at Arthur Murray before I had my kids. So they hire you, you don't have to know any ballroom dance, and they just teach you. So, and they throw you in really fast, where it's like, here's some foxtrot, here's some Roomba, here's some waltz, here's some swing, now go lead all the people at the social. Right now, or you're fired. Not quite that mean, but it's definitely like, okay, now go, which was great because for most people it's really scary to get out and social dance at first, but when you have to do it, you get over that hump really fast, and it's really not, it's not so bad. It's actually a lot of fun.
Do you have a most embarrassing moment?
Dance.
I don't embarrass very easily. I don't have a lot of shame, but I've had a couple moments where, when you do the head loop when you're leading and you put the hand on your shoulder and then it drops down. Yep. When I first learned that one, I kind of forgot that I'm shaped differently than some leads, and I completely dropped this follows hand like right down my chest, and I could tell, she was embarrassed, which was like, she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's completely my fault. Don't be sorry. I'm sorry. So I was embarrassed, for the situation more than for
You're
myself.
embarrassed just hearing it.
Ever since then, anytime I teach a class and we have any, non-male follows, I'm like, put your shoulder forward and then it can just drop down.
I figured that out. I was just like, put the kibosh on, we're doing that again.
Right.
Then again, I just,
yeah, you know, you just, I got to get the tricks for being shaped differently than your old school traditional lead, you know.
So you also started DJing. Is that a new thing, and how did that start, and how you feel about it?
That's relatively new. I just had a Facebook memory pop up of my 3-year DJ anniversary.
Oh, wow.
A few days ago. That was Saturday was I was like, oh, it's been 3 years. And that was only a few months before I came out and started here. But it was actually pandemic time when I started, and you know, Michael and I were running Sueños de Salsa, and we had these BYOP dances that started out outdoors, and then as things were starting to settle down a little bit and the weather was getting colder, we moved them indoors. And you know, people would just bring one partner and mask up and dance at a distance. And of course, for that kind of thing, you're not going to hire a DJ.
Right.
So Michael already knew how to DJ, but he was kind of bored of it. So he was like, "Oh, she push the buttons and, you know, have some fun." And next thing I knew, I was getting really into it. So from there, I just kind of dove in and started learning everything I could.
And so, do you feel like, because you've also gone other places to DJ, I believe. So you DJ not in just one place.
Yeah.
Is there, I don't know how to say this exactly, is there a different response to you being a woman DJing and teaching as opposed to a man, especially in the Latin culture, and where predominantly we see men DJs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think not the same for teachers, but definitely in the DJ world, it seems like it's been pretty male dominated.
Yeah. I mean, I've never experienced DJing as a man, so I don't really know what to compare it to. I've only had my own experience, but from what I've observed, it's definitely a little bit harder to break in, especially with salsa. You know, that's like the very traditional, it's like the older Latino dudes are the salsa DJs, you know, and it's I'm actually playing the Seattle Latin Dance Festival soon, and I'm actually not sure whether he's going to have me in the salsa room or the bachata room, but I just spoke with one of the artists today who was super duper sweet, and I mentioned that I was DJing, and they just automatically immediately assumed that I was going to be in the bachata room.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting.
And
so interesting.
I didn't say I'm DJing bachata. I didn't say anything like that, but they're like, "Oh, let me know when you're DJing. I'll try and come dance in the bachata room." And I was like, isn't that interesting that the assumption, even from, you know, this happened to be another woman, and they were, you know, very, very sweet, very lovely person, but the assumption without even thinking about it was that this is not going to be a salsa DJ.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's something I would not have.
And that's actually my specialty. I like bachata. I love bachata, but salsa's, you know, kind of my thing.
Home sweet home.
So we'll see what happens with the festival. I'm happy to do whatever, but I kind of crossing my fingers for the salsa room.
All right. So, do you have feelings, because you're on a dance team, and do you have feelings about dance teams, dance competitions, dance troops? Like, do you think that they are good for the community? Something you like personally to do, like what you get out of it, but also competition, obviously, in ballroom dancing is a humongous thing, and it's not necessarily the same. It's in all other forms, but generally a lot less competitive in that way. Yeah. So, thoughts about, since you've been in both worlds, what do you think about competition?
Yeah. I mean, I think competition can be great. I don't like to stress out too much about competition. I recently competed at QALDF with BGC, and that was our first time competing, and we really just, you know, we just treated it like another performance. And that's kind of, at this point for me right now, the way I would like to do it. You know, I'm not really, winning would be cool, I'm not gonna lie and say, I'm like, no, I don't want to win, but you know, that's not like the primary, you know, it's for the experience and for the extra training, and you know, you push yourself. Yeah, I like dance teams. I like the community. I do see, I don't know if I want to say issues, but there are some interesting things. You know, I think social dance for me is my primary, passion, and I feel like it's kind of the heart of these dances is the social aspect of it. And I see sometimes some people getting onto teams and then just getting so wrapped up. Either it's so overwhelming, they have to work so hard, and it becomes less fun, or they just don't have the time or the energy, and the team sort of takes precedence over the social dance. Yeah. And we always try to encourage our team members to social dance, but you can't like make them do it. So it's important to me to kind of keep the social aspect of it alive. And of course, with some teams, like with BGC, it's all women, and it's very much like the community is a big part of it. Yeah. So that becomes, it's social, but it's not social dancing. Right. But I think that's where I see the most thriving communities, is where the social aspect of it, be it community bonding or we're dancing together or whatever it is, where that's really emphasized.
Yeah. So who inspires you? It does not have to be in the world of dance either. Like, who has inspired you, or who inspires you now?
Yeah. These days, I'd have to say my kids really inspire me.
Do they dance?
Yes, they're learning. She's 9. She's almost 10. She actually took our salsa beginner class with the adults. It was so cute. They're like trying to lead this little tiny human. She's tiny like her mom, which she hates. But yeah, she took our beginner class, and she's very proud of her basic step, and she can do just a couple little things. And awesome. Then my younger child is a little bit more shy, but she loves to twirl around. She's actually very graceful. But they're just amazing people. I really, can't believe that I get to raise them and have them in my life. And I just, they really do inspire me to be the best version of myself that I can be, so I can, try and be a good mom.
Yeah, that's a lot to, I would assume, juggle, mom, children, and all of the work. I mean, because you are out all the time. I mean, yes. I see you in a million different I mean, half the time I see you here, but you are out doing all the time. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. That's awesome. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I split parenting time with their dad, so that helps. I never have them on Mondays, so I never have to worry about childcare on Mondays or Tuesdays, unless it's like a holiday or something. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of juggling. They've spent a good deal of time in dance studios themselves. They've gotten quite good at just chilling out and doing that whole thing. But yeah.
Do you have other things that you're passionate about, or they're passionate about, or that are not in the dance world, or things that you, I mean, it sounds like your kids, obviously.
Yeah. I don't know. That the dance world, it does kind of consume most of my time. Yeah, I mean, I care a lot about like social issues and all that deep, complicated stuff. But I try to just focus on making an impact on the world through dance. Which maybe leads to your next question.
Perfect opening for our last question.
All right. So the last question is, if you had to write your own dance obituary, that's a little morbid. If you had to write it, what mark would you like to?
Well, you don't have to write it. Say you were reading it.
Okay, fine. You're not writing. Like, but somebody. So the mark that you have left in the world of dance, say, or specifically, I guess, in the world of dance, what would you like that mark to be?
As an instructor, I feel it's just such a huge honor and responsibility and joy to get to share dance with people. Growing up and kind of trying to find, like, what do I want to do with myself? Tried various kinds of sort of sales jobs and whatnot, and I found that, like, I don't want to be a sales. I can't sell something that I don't believe in. But then when I started doing dance professionally, I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I can absolutely 100% look someone in the eye and say, you know, this is going to make your life better. And I believe it because, you know, to me, it is my truth. And I see it happen. You know, I've had people tell me, I had a student not too long ago say, wow, you know, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and it's been about a year since I came here. And I was just remembering the thoughts I had a year ago about you're not good enough. You know, I was just in such a dark place in my head. And dance has really just brought me into loving myself and to experiencing joy in a way that I haven't been able to in years. And, you know, that's the kind of thing that I really, really love. So I guess I would just want my obituary to say that I, you know, inspired people and made them feel safe and comfortable and helped them access themselves and their joy.
Well, we recorded that, so if we're still alive, we'll write that.
Thank you. Here lies Kelly,
Right.
hopefully gracefully.
Maybe we should write a book that, you know, that goes in the bathroom and it's everybody's obits. We can just like, you tell me your
Why does it go in the bathroom?
Because that's where people sit and read.
Oh, like
just like a coffee table book, but not.
But it's
it
a
goes
bathroom
in the bathroom book.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like this bathroom.
This bathroom.
That's a weird place to put the obituaries of dancers who are still living in the Century Ballroom bathroom. I'm getting confused.
Is there anything else you wish we had asked you that we have not yet asked you or you would like to share?
Oh,
like maybe something that people don't know about you that you would be
still would like them not to know.
No, I'm keeping my secrets.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Well,
this was fun though.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
really,
thanks for having
for being
me.
our first victim. Yes.
Yeah.
You're such a big part of the ballroom right now, and I cannot thank you enough. I think we cannot thank you enough for just holding it down and keeping it going and bringing your joy to it. So.
Well, I have to shine that right back at you because, I mean, you guys gave me an opportunity just about 3 years ago when you had a cancellation on Halloween weekend. And, you know, I remember being very nervous for my first shift, but you made me just feel so at home and so awesome. And I really love being part of this family.
Thank you.
All
right.
Yeah. Warm fuzzies.